Sports Bucks.
Walk with me. Turn your radio up. Let's go. Your money's talking. Are you listening? Your money's talking, so pay attention. Your money's talking with Steve Crawford. And it's the Steve Crawford Show. So let's go.
Let's go indeed. Sports Bucks with Steve, giving you everything that you want and sometimes what you need. Listen, we're going to have a quick show, a little bit of local talk. We have the big show on Saturday. You guys can check it out Saturday mornings on KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listeners behind. Also on all of the major podcast platforms. But we want to give some quick special thanks to our sponsors, Fig Wealth Partners, My Virtual Docs, RX Heroes, and Low Cost Airlines, and more. Veteran Card Donation. Just want to thank you guys. Ford Insurance Group, ACA Health Place. If you're looking for health insurance, if you're a small group, you can get it all on acahealthplace.com, down to a single business owner. So give us a call. Check us out online, acahealthplace.com, a Ford Insurance Group company. Listen, I want to go right into it because I think there's a lot of little things that we didn't have time to necessarily cover on our show, which you guys will hear on this Saturday. But I want to go right into let's talk about it. And today, what I want to talk about is we talked about playoffs, right? And we were talking about the playoff edition of Inside the Red Zone. And so I kind of want to get right into this conversation of when we talk about let's talk about it. I want to get right into the conversation of Steve Wilks. You guys are not familiar with, and I was calling this the Wilks Way on our ESPN Charlotte show that we do with the Pearl Reports from time to time. So the Wilks Way. So apparently, not today, Craig, not today. Wilks Way is no longer going to be going to Charlotte's native Steve Wilks, who did an incredible job with a limited amount of talent and resources that he was being provided by Mr. Tepper, is now going to be replaced. And I'm going to play you guys a short video that I found online that's talking about the new coaching hire with, I think it's Frank Reich, who was recently fired, from the Carolina Panthers job. He was fired, and now apparently he's now got a new job just like that. So he didn't sit on the sidelines long. So I want to play this video where they're talking about Frank obviously getting the job.
It officially has. Ian reporting that the Panthers.
Free Tax USA. Free? Let's break that down. Free federal return for everyone.
Thinking and anticipating that this could happen, and yes, it officially has. Ian reporting that the Panthers are hiring former Colts head coach Frank Reich as their new head man. This according to Ian and Tom Pelissero. For a little bit more, Ian is with us right now. Ian, give me the details. How did this thing come about?
Yeah, I would say over the last several days, Frank Reich emerged as the top candidate here for the Carolina Panthers, and really one of the coolest stories around. This is their former quarterback, the first quarterback in franchise history, has family in the Carolina area, a experienced head coach, really someone who could lead this organization into the future. And over the last couple of days, became clear that he was at least the top, at least one of the top guys, if not the top guys. They also did second interviews with Steve Wilks and Kellen Moore. And early this morning, according to me and colleague Tom Pelissero, settled on Frank Reich as their new head coach, and now a new era for the Carolina Panthers. And I would say a massive, massive hire, the first of this cycle.
Ian, the Carolina Panthers interviewed a number of candidates here for their head coaching job. Really, in recent days, it came down to Frank Reich as well as Kellen Moore, who was the last coach that they interviewed, the Cowboys offensive coordinator. They spent some time on him, ended up keeping him overnight to continue the conversation. Moore fit in what the Panthers initially seemed to be set out to find, which was that young offensive coordinator, a really smart offensive mind that they could grow with. However, in Frank Reich, they have a known commodity here, a guy who went to the playoffs in 2 of his first 3 seasons in Indianapolis, a former quarterback himself, obviously throwing the first touchdown pass in Panthers history back in 1995, and somebody who is universally respected within the NFL. We know that it did not end well for Frank Reich in Indianapolis, obviously fired with a 3-3-1 record or 3-5-1 record midway through this past season, replaced on an interim basis by Jeff Saturday. But when you talk to people about Frank Reich who have been around him, you get one of the most solid individuals in the NFL. They now hope to pair him with the franchise quarterback that owner David Tepper really has been seeking since he got there. Now Frank Reich in to mold that offense and whoever that quarterback ends up being.
Yeah, and it's a disappointing end for Steve Wilks here, the interim coach who went 6-6 with a roster that wasn't his, with a coaching staff that wasn't his. I know Wilks has had some support in the media and certainly in the area, as well as had some support in the building. That locker room was vocal with saying, hey, we love the job that Steve Wilks has done. Let's see what he can do as part of the full-time job, or as a part of the full-time coach, with a chance to set the table for himself. So Wilks does not get the job here. We shall see what that means for his NFL future. We know that his defensive coordinator, Al Holcomb, has interviewed with the Falcons for their defensive coordinator job. We should see a decision soon from the Falcons regarding that role. Perhaps they will have some interest in bringing Wilks aboard as well. I know that that's been speculated and talked about. That could be a possibility. So we shall see. But Frank Reich locked in. What's today's date? The 26th. The January 26th. This has got to be the latest ever that we've had the first head coach hiring domino fall.
So Frank Reich, a very quarterback-friendly coach, comes in for the Carolina Panthers. Obviously, the big thing on their to-do list, who's going to be their quarterback? Hard to imagine any quarterback going into a better situation where the head coach knows the quarterback position, has nurtured the quarterback position, and obviously has had a lot of success there. As far as the other side of the ball, what the Carolina Panthers have done during this process is also interview several defensive coordinators, some of the top names, including Vic Fangio, Chris Richard, Marquand Manuel, some of the really top ones. And I would also keep an eye on Gus Bradley, of course, was with Frank Reich in Indianapolis, still under contract. So we'll see if he ends up staying there. If not, would also seemingly be under consideration for the Panthers. But they are in position to hire a defensive coordinator as soon as possible because of the legwork that they did all throughout this process.
The legwork that they did all throughout this process. Steve Wilks, as the gentleman Ian Rappaport mentioned, went 6-6 with a roster that wasn't his, with coaches that weren't his. He overachieved, and yet he has now been essentially kicked out of the door. Thank you for coming. Good night. Russell Simmons, thank you for coming. Good night, and God bless. And his legal representative, though, said they are shocked and disturbed that their client was not hired as the new head coach of the Carolina Panthers. I think a lot of Charlotteans can speak that Frank Reich has some root here. He's done some things here, but he's not Charlotte. Steve Wilks is Charlotte we hear. And the fact that this gentleman did not get a chance to be a head coach will not, I can guarantee you, be given a head coaching job this offseason. He'll get a coordinator position, which is par for the course with the NFL when it comes to giving minority candidates an actual real shot. Look at what happened with Lovie Smith in Houston. He took a team that could barely beat, Olympic Trojans, and took that team and won games that they had no business even winning. And so he was fired after 1 year. His predecessor, same issue, fired after 1 year. And so this is really a combination of flag on the play that I'm going to continue in this short version of Sports Bucks with Steve, because I want to go into another aspect of it, of the show. When I call flag on the play, I want to go into inside the red zone. And with inside the red zone, what I want to talk about real quickly is go over what we saw happen with America's team. And you guys can say they're not America's team. Listen, I've had wonderful conversations with my friends and people I care about who post all the time. You know who you are. Supposedly like certain teams, but you constantly post about the Dallas Cowboys. And when Dallas loses or wins, Dallas Cowboy fans can't be happy according to the rest of America. We can't be happy. We can't celebrate a win or a loss, because if we celebrate a win, wait till next week. If we are upset about a loss, quit crying. I don't know what we can do as Dallas Cowboy fans because everybody else can lose. Giants can lose. Panthers constantly lose. Steelers can lose. Everybody can get beat. But if Dallas gets beat in a game that we're not even favored to win, what's that sound? You're constantly talking about the Cowboys. And so I just find it amazing. But I want to play something that from, I believe it was Marcus, either Marcus Spear or Keyshawn and Will and what's the other guy? And Max. There's two things I wanted to play from that. I thought it was interesting that their take on what they saw, but I first want to hear from Marcus Spears because we were talking about Cowboys and the coaching staff and all this other stuff and changing coaching staff. What we doing? That's not going to happen. So listen to Marcus Spears because I thought he had an excellent take on this.
As much as we get on here, we talk about Mike McCarthy's job. I defended Mike McCarthy a couple weeks ago when we were talking, is he going to be fired if you go to Tampa? Bruh, Mike McCarthy has been to the playoffs twice in 3 years of coaching. All right, he won a playoff game this year. His quarterback turned the football over. He can't control that. That's Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott. I have been saying it for 2 months. 2 months I've been sitting here saying, hey, man, Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott are the most important people to if Dallas can win anything. I still didn't think they were going to win a Super Bowl. I didn't think that they would beat Philly in a playoff game fully healthy. But ultimately, we keep talking about this man job, man. Like, so who you going to get? All right, let's just say you get Sean Payton. You still don't have the roster. The roster. Howie Roseman went out and traded for A.J. Brown. We just finished talking about Philly and their offensive line and how it was put together. This team was better suited to win a Super Bowl when Dak was a rookie than they are right now. And the coach is still having some success. We're getting them to at least to the playoffs in the tournament to have a chance at getting there. I don't mind bearing a coach, okay? Don't mind it at all when I think he needs that type of vitriol and energy. We keep talking about Mike McCarthy. I've been in this organization. I'm telling y'all, Kellen Moore is that guy in waiting like Jason Garrett was when he was in waiting, controlling what they do offensively. Boy wonder is what they tagged him. Now, we can talk about that turnovers, and that's rightfully so. But we need to have the same type of energy going towards Kellen Moore as well. Do y'all think it's a coincidence? I'm going to give y'all another example. Do y'all think it's a coincidence that Josh Allen potentially struggled under Ken Dorsey after Brian Daboll left? Yeah. That's how important an offensive coordinator is.
Want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth. And I thought that Swagoo, as he's affectionately called by many, actually brought out a real point. Like, you know, Kellen Moore gets exposed a lot in these big games. I know we want to blame Dak Prescott. It's easy to blame Prescott. That's what people love to do is talk about Dak Prescott, even though Dak Prescott historically doesn't throw the interceptions like he normally does. He's a top 10 quarterback. Who you got? Who's supposed to be better than Dak Prescott? There's only probably 3 elite quarterbacks in the NFL. When I talk about elite, I'm not just talking about talent. I'm talking about that actually gets it done when you don't look at Brady or even an Aaron Rodgers, A-Rod. We're talking about Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. And beyond that, if a guy's healthy, you know, when you talk about playing the position, you've got people like Jalen Hurts, you've got Lamar Jackson, you've got a talent who has never won a playoff game in Justin Herbert, and then you've got Matthew Stafford, another big arm guy who has won finally because he got a roster. What did Marcus talk about? He got a roster. And then after that, where are you going? So there is Dak Prescott. You're not going to take Kirk Cousins. You're not taking Derek Carr. His team don't even want him. So you're not taking Kyler Murray. His team really don't want him, but they just signed him to this big contract. He got his coach fired. So there's no other choices. These other guys are unproven or not there yet, right? So let's not be prisoner of the moment. Tua, is he going to be healthy ever again? I hope, for the young man's sake. So where are you talking about? Where is this quarterback that's going to come and replace Dak Prescott? I say this because there's something I want to play to you guys. I thought, just like the guys did, that this was disrespectful to Dak Prescott for what the Cowboys media did. Why would you do this? Why would you do this? Listen to this.
Going to stand up for Dak Prescott. The Dallas Cowboys, you guys are whack. You're whack. I'm going to go back to the tweet that was sent out because I'm not even going Micah Parsons. Like the tweet. Dak Prescott gave away the ball twice in the narrow loss to the 49ers. In the matchup, the Cowboys had a chance to win if they didn't generate self-inflicted wounds.
This is from the Cowboys.
This is from the Cowboys' own Twitter handle. What are we doing? Like, I'm disgusted. I'm appalled. And I feel like
Jay, I know we talk. I know it's supposedly be from the Cowboys Twitter handle. I'm just asking, is it really from them though? They didn't get hacked. They didn't. Somebody didn't.
It's from their official account, and the picture is of a Dak looking at an iPad with his head down, looking miserable. And I'm like, what are we? This is not a team sport. Like, this is an athlete right now, is why I wouldn't rock with the Dallas Cowboys, because there is no I in team. How many times have we heard that, Key? Like, there is no one player that is bigger than the team. So if I'm getting lambasted by media members, if I got people burning my jersey saying, screw you, Dak, and I got the same record in the playoffs as Tony Romo, I'm like, okay, well, that seems harsh. But now the harsh criticism comes from internal, and we know how social media works, Key. This has to be passed up levels. There's no way people like above this have not seen this tweet and did not okay it. So like, what are they doing?
What are they doing indeed? And Jay Will brings up a great point as far as what are they doing. So I'm not going to take you guys too much more time. I just want to talk about and give a quick condolence to the young gentleman. I believe the young man who lost his life. Another young athlete has passed away unexpectedly and just suddenly dies. I mean, this is just happening too much. But former Los Angeles Chargers and Detroit defensive end Jesse Lemonier, I may be mispronouncing his name because I know it's Haitian, but he's from Hialeah, Florida, played for Hialeah football at the high school, a young kid that a lot of folks know, but this kid just passed away suddenly. He played in 7 games last year. Another young man, 25 years old, that just passed away. It's just crazy. So, and he was a free agent signing for the USFL Houston Gamblers. So he was going to join that team. But there's no information on the kid, and he's no longer here. So that is a terrible thing that we're definitely condolences to his family. I do want to leave you guys with some retirement tip as we get ready to get out of here. Just something to share. But condolences again to the young man's family in Hialeah, Miami. We are with you in this young man's passing away. Did want to leave you just a quick little video, just a concept in Coach's Corner on a retirement strategy that a lot of my clients are aware of and are reaping the benefits for it. And when you look at this market and how upside down and crazy it is, it's going to take a lot to recover from some of these losses, folks. And some of us are getting older, don't have the time left to recover for some of these big hits. So this is a little thing I want to share from you guys. This is Warren Buffett, the legendary investor, had a few words, and it's a video that kind of quotes him, so to speak. So check this out.
Do you know the 2 rules of Warren Buffett's investment success? One of the most successful investors of all time. Rule number 1, never lose money. And rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. So ask yourself this: is my retirement money safe? Is it protected? Is it guaranteed? If not, can I afford to lose some of it? Because according to the S&P 500 stock index, if your savings are invested in equities, 10 years of market gains can be wiped out in as little as 10 weeks of market losses, like the 43% loss between 2000 and 2002, the 37% lost in 2008, or the 4% lost in 2018, and the 10% lost in 2020. What's more, it can often take several years for the market to recover from those losses. For example, if the market loses 40% of its value as it did between 2000 and 2002, we would need to earn at least an 8% compound annual rate of return for each of the next 7 years, net of any fees, commissions, taxes, or expenses, just to recover our losses and get even again. That's more than 8% for 7 years in a row, just to earn back what we lost. Which means that we also lose 7 years of compounded growth on our pre-crash savings. That is why avoiding market losses like those can make such a big difference in our retirement savings, and why Warren Buffett is so adamant about never losing money. So how can we grow and protect our savings without the risk of losing any of our money? with a retirement savings contract that guarantees to credit our money with an interest rate based only on the growth of an external market index like the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, or the Dow Jones Industrials, but without actually investing our money in the market, without the risk of any market losses, and without current taxation on any of the growth. That's because these contracts only use a market index to determine the interest rate credited to our money. So when the index increases or gains value over a period of time specified in the contract, an interest rate as a percentage of those gains is credited to our contract value. But when the index decreases or loses value, zero interest is credited to our money, and those losses are never deducted, which means that both our principal and our earnings are contractually preserved, secured, and protected. However, there is a maximum limit of rate restriction on how much interest as a percentage of the index gains can be credited within the contract. So you don't get all of the index gains, but you don't get any of the index losses. And because these are retirement contracts, they are meant for long-term savings and income payouts, not for short-term or temporary deposits. So we may only withdraw up to 10% of our contract value each year. And if we withdraw more than 10%, we could be charged a penalty of up to 15% on the excess withdrawal. What's more, if we withdraw the money before age 60, the IRS will also charge a 10% tax penalty on the interest earnings. So what are these retirement contracts? They're called indexed annuities. And they are not investments, they are insurance contracts guaranteed by legal reserve insurance companies that are required to maintain capital reserves equal to all of their contractual guarantees, which will assure you of compliance with Warren Buffett's fundamental rule to never lose money. Interested?
Interested, you should be. Interested, you should be. We can help you at Fig Wealth Partners by giving us a call, 980-216-8487, 980-216-8487. And you can also reach us online at on toll free, I should say, 1-800-306-5086. That's 1-800-306-5086. Listen, folks, we are glad you could join us on this short version of our show. Please check us out, KCAA Radio, on Saturday mornings, 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Mountain time. You got to figure that all out. So this is Steve Crawford, the retirement wealth coach. Coach Steve, as many folks know me and have been listening to me over the years, know this is Coach Steve. And so we just want to thank you guys for listening to the show, listening to me run my mouth, because I love to talk some sports, love some sports. And so we're just excited about it. But as you guys know, every superhero needs their own theme song. Everyone. Courtesy of my main man, Ryan, Ride Star, Young, and the legendary Wu-Tang Clan. I want to give a shout out to all my family. Shout out to my baby great niece who was born today. We don't know the name, but shout out to my baby great niece, and my niece Morgan for her new baby, and my nephew James. Congratulations to y'all having the baby. I want to give a shout out to all the haters that constantly talk about my Dallas Cowboys football team. I want to give a shout out to my cousin Russell Robinson, my cousin Trey Lewis, my cousin Sky Johnson, who is the biggest supporter. Love you, Cozos. Love you, Cozos. Give a shout out to Natalie Blake, who is constantly posting about the Dallas Cowboys. And she's supposed to be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I want to give a shout out to my man Mando, Shut Your Pie Hole, Wallace. He's a big Eagles fan. I want to give a shout out to, man, there's so many people that we go back and forth with all the time. It's all love, y'all. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Man, how many more people can I think of? I can't even think. My boy Sean Brown, Yorkwood, Cedric Brown, Yorkwood. Sean's a big 49ers fan. Shout out to Sean Brown. Boogie. Shout out to Cedric, who's a Packers fan. Shout out to my main man Monty Frombach. I know he's not gonna really hear this because he's not on social media. Shout out to my man T. Davis. Love the Dallas Cowboys fan. My man Ace Antonio Roma. My boy, lifetime Dallas Cowboy fan. Shout out to you, man, Gene Lieberman, who's a big Dallas Cowboy fan, and all those haters. Inspiration. Flag on the play. Guys, you want to get involved in this, send me a recording. Something on your mind, something you want to talk about. No cursing, please. No cursing. So we need something clean. We'll play it on the radio show. Shout out to Corey Brown, another Dallas Cowboy fan. My man Jamie Hope, another Cowboy fan. Big Poe, Eric Williams, big Cowboy fan. My man Anthony Earl Willis, I see you, brother. Retiring soon. Shout out to you. My man Mr. West. Mr. West is in the building. Adrian West, big Pittsburgh Steelers fan. We shout out all y'all. I see you, D. Packers fan. We see all y'all. We appreciate y'all for listening to the show. My man Jonathan, big Eagles fan. Sure hoping y'all don't feel that great. Tavares, how can I forget Thomas Bragdon, big 49ers fan. Shout out to my man. All of this is work. It's the main event. Travis Thomas for making it happen. Brandon O'Doy. It's a hot, big world. It's a hot, big world. Shout out to Jonah Bullard for Generation Next. For all y'all do, man. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. It's all love. And anybody I forgot, I'm sorry. There's just too many people that have helped me over the years and can't remember everybody. We'll see y'all next week. I'm out.